Right, FSA XC300 FREEHUB. How to get it off, how to get it apart. Mine started getting noisy, so I wanted to strip it down, regrease it. I'm not a bike mechanic, I couldn't find any videos. Whoops, there goes the spindle. Couldn't find any videos to get it apart. So I'm going to make this one. There we go. Like I said, I'm not a bike mechanic. I'm no video maker, so go easy on me. You've got your cassette off. You've got your spindle out. You've knocked your bearings out. Watching other videos of other people. You've got your FREEHUB. It's noisy. You want to get it off, swill it with oil, or you want to get it off, strip it down like I wanted to. But like I said, I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet to get this stripped down and greased. Right. What I did see, obviously, if you got one, these two little recesses. I found out that's a left-handed thread, so you want to do that clockwise to get it off. First, FREEHUB away from the wheel. Pretty standard. 12mm Allen key. This is the way I do it. In the vise. It is an Allen key fitting. When you look through, it does not look like an Allen key fitting. I thought mine was different. It looks a bit like the inside of a ring spanner, but it is a 12mm. Right, so that's in your vise. You can see that. Camera on properly. Put that through. This is to release the FREEHUB from the wheel. Right, and that is anti-clockwise with the wheel. I know mine's been off before, but it really did come off this easily. Until these can be really tight. So anti-clockwise with the wheel. See what's going on there. That should be coming away. Yep. Yep, that's out. You see that will just come away now. There's your retaining nut, so obviously put that safe. Right, noisy, dry. At this stage, so I've been told, I don't know, I'm no professional, you could swirl that through with oil, hot oil, and then re-lube it. I suppose that would work. Like I said, I'm certainly no bike mechanic, no expert, but if you do want to get it apart, check it. This is the way I did it. I'm not saying it's the right way, this is the way I did it. You need to make a tool, which I can't find. There it is. Rectangular metal, 29mm by 4mm. First one I tried was 2mm thick, it bent it. So I've gone for the 4mm to fill the hole of the recesses. It just drops down. I've spent a little bit of time on this, 5 minutes, filing it down so it sits in there smooth and fully. Right, you're not going to undo that with your hands or with a spanner. Right, so your tool in the vise. FREEHUB, sit that into your tool. I was tempted to get a spanner on there. Spanner doesn't fit. Spanner certainly does not sit properly, so see, you don't want to damage that either. So what I did was use my wheel, which is a natural spanner. pop it on, and like I said, it's a left-handed thread, so turn your wheel clockwise to loosen. There it goes. I'm glad about that because I could see the tool underneath just starting to stress. That's it, I can feel that that's gone now. Well, you want to give it about one turn really, because once you have started loosening that, what could happen is your bearings could drop out. You've got 25 small bearings there, 25 small bearings this end. Because mine's been apart before, I can turn that by hand, so I can do that on the bench. If it's your first time apart, possibly all dry, stiff, you might want to get that tool out. What I did do the first time, oops, is I got this bit of foam, packing foam with a slit, slit that through, drew it in. That was to catch any bearings that fell out, because I've got to be honest, I did not know really what was inside here. I thought there'd be big bearings, small bearings, I don't know. I didn't drop any, but believe me, you'd cry if they went on the floor. So yeah, you're in charge of saving your bearings. What I'll do is take that out. Right, so your tool's still in there. I'm turning this. That should be clockwise. You see what's going on. I'm holding the end, the left end, and that's, you can see that coming apart. Like I said, mine's been apart before, so I expect it to come apart this easy. I could not find anywhere on the internet, not even FSA website, to tell me how to do this. Right. Once that's loose, I'm holding these two together. You should be able to tip that out. Should be. There you go. What we got? I'll tell you what we got. We've got that. You can see what's going on inside there. There's your pawls, whatever you call them. Pawls. Bearing race, lock-in nut. Two washers. You've got 25 ball bearings there. So I kept them separate so I don't have to count them out later. Nothing else is going to fall out. So like I say, you can tip that out. You've got 25 ball bearings. That's all that's going to come out. You see how dry they are. Didn't grease it up. I took it apart to make a video. And the other end, I'll just pull out. Don't worry too much. Your 25 ball bearings, oh, they're all there. Yours will fall out, believe me, because they'll be dry. That's why it was noisy. There's your pawls, you call them that. There, you can inspect them, regrease. There's a spring going around the centre, pretty standard I believe. Let me get a torch on that. Right, the spring, it's bent down into an L shape, one end, the other end is straight. The first time I saw this, I thought maybe one of the L shapes had broken off and it was supposed to have it, but looking on the internet, that's how the spring's supposed to look, so you haven't got a broken spring if it looks like that. The way I got those 25 ball bearings to sit there is I just smacked a bit of grease on. Round, smacked a bit of grease on around the edge. One by one, just place the bearings in. There's nothing special about that. You just push them in with your finger. Keep that up. I'd imagine you grease all this. I can tell you now, the mistake I made last time is that one washer. I thought that was wrong. You get one washer this end. When you unscrew it, this washer, you just check on the right. Yeah, Yeah, this washer is from this end. Yeah, here's my first mistake. So you got one washer each end, 25 bearings each end. The pawls will not drop out. If you took the spring out, they would slide out. So I'm guessing what you will want to do is grease it up to the specification, light grease I'm told. Get it back together. That's it. You want to be checking in now, I suppose. That slides over. Ah, yeah, that should have been obvious. That's why the two washers were there. So both end up at the same end. What a donut. Right. The way I got this back together is I found I put the two washers in first. The reason for that is when I put my bearings back in, the washer sort of makes them sit back in place. That's what I found anyway. If that's wrong, just don't see how it can be, but like I said, I'm certainly no professional. Obviously you want to grease these. I'm doing this for speed, and I'll be taking one apart after the video and greasing it all up. Do you know what? It might even be better to buy a new one, but if you're interested in how they come apart, this is how I got mine apart. Get on a sec. So I'm just dropping those in. If you want to pick this up, obviously there's a bearing there. I suggest you pick it up anyway, because I did rebuild this the first time totally. Picked it up and there were 4 bearings that had gone through the centre. It's possibly, I don't know, easier to grease these once they're back in place, because I don't see how you could drop them down so easy once they're greased. You can see how that washer has kept them all recessed back into the race. The first time I did it, I put the bearings in first. They were everywhere. So yeah, washers first, then bearings. You'll probably be switching off the video now because this is pretty simple. What I found is if you put this on the mat, it sort of just catches it, saves you getting your fingers under there. So that is anti-clockwise to do that up. What I'm doing with mine is pushing pressure into the bench against the sponge. That's just stopping that cog from turning, so I can get that tight. That's tight enough that the bearings won't fall out. Back together, you can probably hear that. Right. Tool back in the vise. And if that is wrong with the washers, then you know, look into that. But here's your basic way I found of getting it apart. It doesn't want to sit in the tool now. Because mine are 2 pieces of metal stuck together. Right, there you go. And your wheel, right, is again using this as the spanner, and to tighten that all together anti-clockwise. Not sure about torque settings, I really do not know. Don't see how you could do that anyway. But just remember, it's a bearing against bearing, cup and race. You don't want it too tight, it'll just, well, I'd imagine it would squeeze the bearings if you did it too tight. So that's as tight as. Obviously I haven't greased mine, this is for video purpose. back together. Tool, like I said, 29mm, 4mm, pretty basic. Allen key, 12mm, back in the vise. You got your cap. Mine did have red. Is it Loctite? Yeah, Loctite. So you might want to put some Loctite back on that. The easiest way I found, I've just popped it on the Allen key. Put my FREEHUB back in there. He's probably already done all this, to be honest. Carefully through. And this one is clockwise. Oops. Just clockwise spin. Should be going back on. Yep. Not sure about the torque setting for that either, but you can find that out easy enough. There you go. Back on. Regreased. Like I said, we've all got expensive bikes. You might want to just buy a new one, but if you want to take it apart, that's how I did it. Like that. Cheers.